Well, let's start here in Kenya, where the country's Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and the Advocates Complaints Commission have taken over a case involving former athlete Daniel Komen, who has accused a county assembly speaker of swindling him of nearly $120 million. Now, the athlete, two-time world indoor 1,500-meter silver medalist Komen, had moved to court seeking to recover property from his former financial advisor and lawyer, Isaac Terer. Now, this week, Komen was summoned to the anti-corruption offices in Nairobi to record his statement. The EACC says it will require more documents from him to begin proper investigations. The case is the latest involving current or former athletes being exploited out of their own money. Well, joining us for more on this rather complex issue in studio is veteran sports journalist Elias Makori. Of course, he is also the IAAF Press and Media Operations Advisory Group. Elias, of course, we know that athletes in general tend to retire in their 30s. Now, from your experience, do you think that they plan well in advance for their future? I mean, do they make sound investment plans that will benefit them after they retire from the track?
I'd say perhaps about 30% do make wise decisions because if you look at it on one side, especially in the Rift Valley, the town of Eldoret, 35% of the real estate in Eldoret is owned by athletes. So you can see a fair number of them do invest well in real estate. But there's another group that really falls by the wayside. And after they retire, they run into problems because there's no income coming in and they don't have enough investments.
And what do you think the role is that federations can play in this? I mean, if we just look at Kenya as an example, or perhaps Ethiopia, is there more the federations themselves should be doing to support athletes?
The federation should be doing a lot more than what they're doing, if they're doing anything at all, because when you look at it, these kids come out of school, primary school, and they get into the big league of money. Look at Ruth Jebet, for example. She was hardly 18. She became, the Olympic champion in Rio and broke a world record a few weeks later. She got 50 million Kenya shillings. That's an awful lot of money. And, with her education, it doesn't really know what to do with this money. So she needs guidance, and this can only come from the federation principally and also from the athletes' managers.
And what about the fact that if you look at Ethiopia in particular, the federation now has a new head, and that, of course, is Haile Gebrselassie, an athlete himself who perhaps knows better than anyone else how these kind of successes on the track can completely transform your life. Do you think having an athlete at the helm of a federation will make a difference?
Yeah, it will make a big difference. They say, the wearer of the shoe knows where it pinches. Haile, apart from being an athlete, he's been an excellent businessman. He owns a hotel in Addis Ababa, in Awassa, and actually tomorrow he's organizing the Great Ethiopian Run. And one of the reasons that pushed him to run for presidency of the federation was because he was annoyed at the selection of the Olympic team for Rio. Kenenisa Bekele was in great shape, was left out. So a lot of management inadequacies in the federation, poor selection, no coordination between the officials and the athletes. And he said, hey, look here, I've been an athlete and I know where it hurts. So let me get in there and change things. And things will change under Haile. And if you look at it globally, a lot of young people, former athletes, former sportsmen are getting into positions of leadership. The president of the IAAF, the World Athletics Body, Sebastian Coe, is a former Olympic champion. The president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, is hardly 45. He's a young man. So there's now a wind of change, and the ex-sports people are coming on board as managers.
Certainly encouraging signs indeed. Let's just change topic very briefly now. There have been concerns, of course, about Kenya's preparedness in terms of hosting the World Under-18 Championships. Are these concerns valid?
Yes and no. Yes, because time is really moving, and no, because it's typically Kenyan. People wait for the last minute. They will pull it off, but the problem is, we have the habit of waiting until the 11th hour. Returning your tax returns, you find people waiting until one day to the closure. They file their returns. The same thing as organizing events. They waited until the very last minute. The facility is good, the venue is good, but a lot of work needs to be done. The money needs to be released from Treasury. So these are the teething problems, but I believe Nairobi will eventually do it.
Elias Makori live with us here in studio. Thanks as always for sharing your opinions with us.